When does my body fat increase and when does it actually decrease? The decrease of body fat, I think, can be, in terms of time, mostly explained by two phenomena. The first is fasting. Now, fasting is basically to be subdivided into fasting by time or also fasting by activity. So fasting could also be described as a nutrient-depleted stage of the body, in which the most recent nutrient intake is now either temporarily or exercise-rarely sufficiently apart such that one already is probably in higher degrees of fat burning. Now, this state seems to also optimize sleep, at least for me, which then already leads us to the second big time in which fat burning occurs. So the first one would be fasting while being awake, and the second one would be fasting while being asleep, since most people, when sleeping, usually don't eat. As for eating, most people require also consciousness, which some people in sleep might also have with lucid dreaming, but that's not really the point here. So if I optimize my whole day for high sleep quality, then I usually wake up leaner compared to the day before. Now, despite just looking leaner, so this could be either subcutaneous water that is retented, if this is a word, or actual decrease of subcutaneous body fat, there often seems to be a visual change, maybe also a reduction in inflammation, that then would also be visible. So when does my body fat actually increase? My body fat seems to increase, and I assume now that the phenomenon which I have observed over the last couple of years, which is if I overeat, and there also seem to be a couple of other things connected to this, then I do have a tingling sensation in basically all the spots where subcutaneous fat would be viable to be now built up. So if I eat, for example, and I don't have sufficient time or activity in between eating and trying to go to sleep, then I'm too hot, not necessarily to handle, but for sleeping. But simultaneously, I can also feel subcutaneously this tingling sensation. And this seems to correlate then with fat buildup, as then in the hours after or the morning after, I usually look fatter, subcutaneously fatter. And since I weigh myself daily on a body fat scale, I also do have some evidence, basically based on this body fat data, which now mostly means two things. First of all, in order to stay at a certain body fat level, but not only relative body fat level, but ideally also maybe keeping my absolute body fat constant. Thus, if I further increase my muscle mass, I would actually get leaner. Then I need to either keep them net, the same, so basically the increase and decrease of body fat, and I can do this probably the best by long-term optimizing my day, but also maybe in the mid and short term trying to optimize my day. So basically setting my activity, ideally in an ultradian upturn after I already have eaten, and ideally also have, well, an ultradian upturn. Therefore, maybe I have taken a nap before I actually eat, because after I'm too hot and cannot longer sleep.